Cool. All right, guys, another really common question is what are 3 stretches or movements that I can do every day to improve my mobility? And I know you guys love these really simple structures, like just 3 movements to do to completely solve everything. And unfortunately, that's not the case. It does vary from person to person what your exact specific needs are. And actually, if you want to check exactly what your specific needs are, you can do a free posture assessment from myself. Just hit the link in the caption. But these are 3 movements that tend to work for about 70 to 80% of people, because a lot of you guys do have very similar issues due to excessive sitting at a desk. These are kind of 3 exercises that address the 3 most common problems, and they are tight hip flexors, okay? Because we're sitting, the hip flexors get very tight. So the first exercise will be addressing that. And the second one will be kind of a rounding of the upper spine. So the second exercise is going to address that. And then the third one is for just limited hip mobility and limited core activation. I've got a really good exercise that addresses both those areas. So let's go to the first exercise. And this one is for helping to correct the tight hip flexors, which in turn pulls a lot of you into an anterior pelvic tilt. Your pelvis tips forward. So this is just an isometric lunge. It's really simple. You're just going to stagger your feet, and then you're just going to drop your back knee to the floor. Rather than a conventional lunge where we might move forward, we want to really shift the weight into the back leg, and then we really want to feel that we're tucking the pelvis under. If you struggle with that sensation, like I talk to a lot of people and I say tuck your pelvis under, and it's quite hard to understand that. One cue that you can think about is think about pulling your feet towards each other. Okay, so you want to think about driving your right foot forwards, and in this case, my left heel backwards. So I'm like squeezing my feet towards each other, and that will take my lower back and my pelvis from this position into this position. Okay, really just thinking about that contraction, really trying to activate the back glutes. And what I also want to avoid here is, as I do this, I don't then want to be rounding with my upper spine. I want to try and be nice and upright. Okay, and you're just going to hold that. And you can progress this by just going slightly lower to the floor. If you have any pain in the knee when you do this, just come up slightly higher. Okay, and that's just a really simple position that you can hold if you've had a long day at a desk. So yeah, that's the first exercise, and that's addressing tight hip flexors. We're working the range which is called hip extension. The second exercise, so as discussed, we want to focus on targeting that kind of rounding in the upper spine, shoulders becoming slightly internally rotated or rolling forward. So this one is a reverse tabletop. This is an absolute classic. You're going to set up with your hands behind your body, and then just bring your feet in towards your glutes. You want to have kind of 1 foot's distance between the heel and the glutes, and then you want to just twist your hand back. Okay, so notice my hand isn't forward, it isn't to the side, it's back, and that's going to help me to externally rotate the shoulder. And then from here, I'm going to squeeze my shoulders back, lift my hips off the floor. And you can see already this, for a lot of you, you're just going to feel a deep stretch here, especially through the biceps, through the forearm. And this might be enough. For some of you, this will be enough. Okay, and you just want to really try and open the chest. But then the movement here is going to be just driving the hips up, squeezing into the shoulders, and slowly lowering down. Okay, and this is just such a great movement for opening up the spine, strengthening the postural muscles, working on that shoulder external rotation, opening up the fascia all through the forearm and the bicep. And yeah, we're just going to go for reps here. You can do kind of 3 sets of 10 reps, and that's your reverse tabletop. So that's the second exercise, more focused on the upper body. Let's go to the third exercise, which is going to be an active beast into a deep squat. Okay, so for many of you, we want to build to a nice deep squat, but for a lot of you, it's not comfortable to be here, and we don't just want to be sitting in a position that's not comfortable for the body. So the best thing to do here is move in and out of the position. So we go into what we call an active beast. So this position, we're on our hands and our feet, and the knees are just slightly off the floor. And this is a very easy way to get deep core activation, okay? From here, we're just gonna rock in and out of a deep squat. Okay, and I absolutely love this movement. We're getting so much going on here, and we're kind of transferring that core connection, that core activation from the active beast. We're then pulling that into the deep squat. So we can see if, as I go from here, I'm getting that nice hip connection, core connection, hip flexor activation, and then I can just pull that straight into my deep squat. And some of you, you're gonna find that as you go into your deep squat, your heels are gonna be lifted off the floor. That's fine. We just wanna fall into a position that feels comfortable, okay? And we can just move in and out of these two. And you should find as you go through this, that your squat starts to open up. Cool. So they're the 3 exercises. These aren't 3 exercises that are gonna solve every single problem, but they're 3 exercises that are gonna start pushing you in the right direction, particularly if you spend a lot of time at a desk. So we have the isometric lunge. I realized I didn't discuss how long you wanna hold that for. You wanna do kind of 3 reps on each side for about 20 seconds. So contracting for about 20 seconds. Then we have the tabletop, 3 sets of 10 reps. And then we have the active beast to squat. Honestly, for this one, I would start at 1 minute, but if you feel like you need longer, if you feel like your squat hasn't really opened up in 1 minute, just keep going for as long as you want. Okay, you really wanna find that movement brings you into a deeper squat. And for some of you, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Cool. So that's it. As mentioned before, if you want a free posture assessment, mobility screening, hit the link in the caption, and I'll see you on the next video.